Okay, so today we're going to talk about the present progressive tense. The present progressive tense consists of two different things. The very first thing, which is super important for us, is that it has the verb estar, and then it's going to have a second verb with its participle ending. The English equivalent to the participle ending is going to be the ing. So, for instance, singing, dancing, driving, those are all examples of present participle. The present progressive would be to be driving, to be singing, to be dancing, and then once conjugated, I am singing, I am dancing, I am driving. So that's going to be the full present progressive. If you only do the form that is more or less the ing equivalent, that is going to be the participle ending. Okay, so keep in mind that those are two different things, that the present participle is just the ing form or its Spanish equivalent when we get there, and then the verb estar being added with that is going to be the present progressive tense. As already mentioned, okay, you need to have estar and then the present participle. So this is for you to be able to see an example. Okay, the very first one you have estoy pescando, I am fishing. The second one, which is our form of estar, is estamos, and then our participle is comiendo. So estamos comiendo, we are eating. For our present participle endings, okay, these are going to be the ones for our regular verbs. AR verbs are always going to be ando, no matter what. We just need to worry about ando for AR. Okay, we don't have to worry about any irregular or any rule breakers or anything special there. We're simply going to use ando for our AR verbs. For our ER and IR verbs, those are going to have the same ending, which is yendo, or spelled I-E-N-D-O. Those are going to be for our regular ER and our regular IR verbs. Okay, so you can see we went from hablar to hablando, comer to comiendo, and then escribir to escribiendo. Remember that what you see on the right-hand side is simply the present participle. In order to make it present progressive, you must have estar in front of it. When we're talking about an ER and IR verb that ends in a vowel, okay, so that means we've taken off our ER ending, we've taken off our IR ending, and we're left with a vowel, we actually have to use our new participle ending, yendo. Okay, so leer would become leyendo. We would not write it as L-E-I-E-N-D-O. We must change that I to a Y. Reason being, we cannot have three vowels back to back, nor can we have an I sandwiched in between two strong vowels. I's are weak vowels, and so we have to change it so that we're able to get all of the sounds of the word. Okay, oír is going to become oyendo, and then traer is going to become trayendo. We have three that are just straight up irregular for us. We have ir, which means to go, poder, which means to be able to, and venir, which means to come. All three of these are going to have irregular present participles. So that means for ir, we're going to use yendo. For poder, we're going to use pudiendo. And then for venir, we're going to use viniendo. All of these are irregular. You just kind of have to memorize them. They don't follow any pattern. The one nice thing about poder and venir is that those are going to set the stage for us when we start getting into our past tense. Okay, so if you can kind of remember this pattern, it will help set the stage for us when we move to the past tense. A note about the verb ir. Okay, for the verb ir, we are not really going to use yendo too often. Remember that when we use ir in Spanish, voy al centro, voy a hacer unas cosas. Those are different uses of the verb ir that are much more diverse than what we use in English. Okay, so ir, we often do not use it as estoy yendo. We would just simply say voy. Okay, so just keep in mind, you might see it on a quiz, you might see it on a test, but it's not something that we as Spanish speakers use very often. Next, we have stem changers. Okay, if we're talking about stem changers and they are IR verbs that are stem changers, those will have a stem change in the present participle. Okay, the only caveat to that is that we are only going to have a single letter change. That means that if we have a verb that is an E to IE stem changer, like preferir, for instance, it's an IR verb, it is a stem changer. Now when we put it into the participle form, it is going to become prefiriendo. Okay, so notice that we don't have to put that IE in there. When we're talking about it in the participle form, it's only going to have a single letter change. Conseguir follows its normal pattern because it is typically an E to I stem changer, and thus we kept that pattern. For dormir, for instance, that is usually an O to U E stem changer, and here it's going to become an O to U stem changer in the present participle. So it goes from being dormir to durmiendo. Notice the emphasis on that U. It's durmiendo, not dormiendo. Okay, dormiendo is not a word for us. Okay, it will not be correct. We have to make sure that we pronounce that as a U. Yes, it sounds a little funny right at first. It feels funny when we say it, but it is something that we must get used to doing for this verb. Okay, if we're talking about an AR verb or an ER verb that is a stem changer in the regular present tense, we are not stem changing them in the present participle. So that means that almorzar, which is an AR verb and usually a stem changer, will simply be almorzando. Okay, no stem change, nothing special that we have to worry about there. As far as the uses of this tense, okay, in English we can use this to talk about something that we're completing over an extended period of time. For instance, I'm taking Spanish this year. Okay, this year doesn't end until May. That is when our school year ends, which means that we are taking it from now until May. That is an extended period of time. That is something that is an ongoing action. In English, we use the present progressive. In Spanish, we do not. Okay. Another example would be, I'm going to study tonight, or I'm studying tonight. That's not something that's happening in this moment. That's something that's happening later on or something in the future. We will not use the present progressive tense in Spanish. For that, we'll simply use the simple future or just the regular present tense. Okay. So remember that the present progressive in Spanish is going to be much more restrictive than it is in English. In English, we can use it for ongoing actions. In English, we use it for the simple future. Okay. In Spanish, we use it to only talk about what is happening now in this moment. So for instance, I could say, yo estoy hablando, right? I'm talking. That's something that I'm doing in this current moment. Yo estoy enseñando el presente progresivo. So I'm teaching the present progressive. That is something that is happening right now in this moment. I'm not going to say, yo estoy bailando esta noche. No, that's something that's happening tonight. Okay, that I'm going to dance tonight. I'm not dancing right now, I'm teaching. So we have to, in Spanish, use the present progressive to talk about the things that are happening right now in this moment. Go ahead and pause this video, take a moment to see if you can figure out numbers 2 through 12. Keep in mind that number 1 has already been done for you and that you must use the verb estar. Welcome back, guys. These are going to be the answers for 2 through 12. So once again, take a moment to pause these so that you can go over and check and see how you did.